Cipher versus Saber versus Kevin Castellana, aka Phainon, is what we're going to be talking about in today's video, guys, comparing all their pros and all their cons, and just kind of going over everything with these characters today, whether you should pull them, whether you should not, giving a pull priority list for each one of these characters. So let's first start off with the pros first, starting off, I guess, with the queen of the hour, Cipher here. Anyways, hopping into the pros first here, gamers. First of all, 40% damage vulnerability, absolutely massive. This is free. It's on the field all the time, unless she dies, basically. It's there, okay? So, absolutely massive. This is very close to the numbers that someone like Zhao Cho's able to do with this stat. So, absolutely massive. We love that. She also is going to be having 3 debuffs as well. 2 of those are going to be consistent. 1 is a proc, and you can add an extra proc debuff onto that if you put her with like a Personal Sweat Light Cone or even like her signature Light Cone, right? So she can potentially have 4 debuffs on her kit, which is really good for characters like Dr. Ratio and also really good for characters like Acheron as well. Can be very viable there. Next thing here, true damage. It literally bypasses crit rate, crit damage, defenses, resistances, everything like that, and it's going to be scaling from your allies. So that means the more damage your allies do, the more damage she does. That means the better she gets over time, because the more time passes in the game, the more power creep comes to the game, which then in turn means the more damage she'll be able to do when you're investing in those characters. So Ayo, really good there too. Next up here, guys, Jack of all trades. I actually talked to someone in the community about this, and they actually mentioned a really good statement here. She's the bridge between Acheron and Phainon. So if you have either one of these teams, she is the bridge between the two, meaning she can go in between both Phainon teams and Acheron teams and work really good on both of those teams. So she works all around pretty well on just about every single team because of all the things she's able to do. She's like the 5-star Gwen for me, guys, because she does debuff, she does follow-up attacks, she does a lot of true damage, she can fit on a lot of different teams. So yeah, 5-star Gwen in my opinion. And then finally, like I said here, like I mentioned before, follow-up attacks, meaning she can work on those follow-up S teams. Those are all the pros I have to mention for Miss Cipher here. Let's go ahead and hop into Mr. Phainon next. Blood is literally huge, insane, big dick, big daddy damage right here. Look at him. I mean, look at him in his summer outfit here. He is doing bigger damage than his tits are in this outfit, okay? Anyways, he is also the final boss. Obviously not going to too many leaks here, but hey, if you know, you know. He literally is, you are the boss. He is the biggest boss man you've ever seen in your life, alright? Hey, if you wanted to fight with someone like Akolia, hey, he has got it for you. He changes the whole game. He introduces a new mechanic into the game that hasn't been introduced to any other character before, and hey, absolutely love him. Or I guess it has been introduced. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Anyways, next here, guys, ult is insanely easy to get. Literally, guys, just have a bunch of buffers on the team and buff him up, and hey, he's gonna be good to go. That's all I gotta say there to that. Next, huge self buffs. Yes, guys, he gives himself a lot of damage buffs, crit buff, like everything all around the board. Like, he helps his own damage out so much, which makes him really easy to build in that regard. And then finally, buff retention as well. With how he works whenever he's doing his main source of damage, you can even use characters like Yukong here. Yukong getting an indirect buff here because of how his kit works and how he can retain those buffs because of how the turns are structured whenever he does his big source of damage, okay? So this is a really big pro, so it makes characters, like I said, Yukong viable and Bronya viable as well. A lot of these characters, they only last for 1 to 2 turns. He takes very good use of that, and it never wears away. So literally, you cannot go wrong with Phainon. That didn't rhyme as good as I thought it would. Anyways, on to Miss Saber now. Yeah, also does huge, insane damage, but you do need to be a bit more technical in doing it. But overall, big, still huge, insane damage, obviously coming from our first collab character in the game, Miss Saber. And then free energy and free SP going to her, so that makes her more SP efficient. Also makes it a lot easier to get her ult back up, which leads to her main source of damage. But with this as well, guys, gives her free stats, free crit rate, crit damage, which makes her that much easier to build and going to be a lot easier on those free-to-play players. Very versatile damage, that being AoE and single target damage. She works very well in both of those regards. And then finally, ult spam teams. But these are realistically all the pros I have to mention. Now let's move on to the bad things. What are they bad at, right? Starting off with Miss Cipher first, guys. Now, Cipher, for me, has a lot of cons that come with the pros. Maybe not as much as some of the other characters, but hey, let's go ahead and talk about it, guys. Personal damage is, man, like, she definitely relies a lot on your allies. If your allies are not outputting damage, she is not outputting damage. You're like an E0, S0 Acheron team, right? You're a brand new player coming to the game, and you're like, oh, well, she's gonna work great. yeah, she will definitely give you that great 40% vulnerability increase, but her damage is still going to be kind of ass, because if your Acheron's damage is still ass, it doesn't help her damage out that much, which makes her kind of a useless sub DPS in that sense. So that's why this is kind of a major con for me and something to definitely look at. I genuinely think that she is much more suited for those Dolphin-esque players that definitely have a lot more vertical investment in their DPS, and that kind of ties into con number 2, guys, is relies on allies for good damage. If you don't have good allies in your team doing good damage, then she's not going to do damage. Build is somewhat hard. Now, the reason why I say build is hard is because, while yes, she does give crit damage to herself, speed is key here, and speed, not gonna lie, kind of hard to get. Just gonna put it out there. I think speed is probably the hardest stat to get in the game right now, and considering the 170 threshold you need to reach with her to actually be good, 170, I don't think I've achieved 170 on any of my characters. And I know you might say, well, she also gives crit rate and crit damage. Well, crit rate and crit damage really doesn't matter all too much, because it's really a pump fake. Like, the free 50% crit rate, 100% crit damage she gives herself, it just doesn't matter, because most of her damage is coming from true damage anyways, which I put over here. That's where her main source of damage is coming from, and your allies are the ones doing more damage to give her stacks up so she does more damage. So this crit rate, crit damage really doesn't play a big factor into anything at all. Like, sure, it does help, but it's really a pump fake in the grand scheme of things, in my opinion. And then finally, Master of None. And what I mean by this, guys, is she's really not the best in slot for any team right now. With the buff of someone like Silverwolf, she might become best in slot for like those low investment Acheron teams, but my thing here is, if you have a low investment Acheron, she's already doing low damage, so her sub DPS capabilities go down. If you don't have Silverwolf with her upgrade, then Gao Cho's probably still better on the team there. You can obviously throw her as a secondary unit in there, and then she can still work. But then when you get her to like something like E2, she's still not best in slot going into someone like a Phainon team, right? Like, she works in a Phainon team, but Topaz offers a better debuff than she can offer with that Phainon team. So is she really good there? I don't know. Castor's team, she works out there well too. Cherubi's gonna be better there. Talking about a team like even Phainon coming to the game, right? She can work on that team, but there are other better debuffers you can throw on that team, or other better just supports in general that you can throw on that team that are better than her. That's why I see she's a Master of None. Now let's hop into the cons of Mr. Phainon here. Phainon, he does nothing for the team, meaning whenever he gets power crept, he is power crept, and that's it. He doesn't provide any buffs, so he has no sub DPS capability outside of that. So L there, right? He also needs instant Omega buffers, meaning he needs buffs, and he needs them fast, and he needs them up as quickly as possible, so he can do his massive buku amounts of damage, which is arguably not too hard to get. And then finally, large AoE can be cooked, meaning if you're facing someone like the Bug Boss, he might be cooked in that stage, but against single target or blast type enemies, which is most enemies in the game, he'll be pretty well suited for, just for those large AoE scenarios, namely the Bug Boss, namely the robot guy that has all his little side minions. He might be kind of cooked there. And now let's talk about the cons of Miss Saber here, guys. First of all, she relies on team ults, meaning if you have a team comprised of characters that have very high ult costs, does not work there. Secondly, the banner system is oh my god, the banner system's cooked, guys. I feel like this is one demeaning factor of why people should not just pull for her, because the banner system is tied to its own. That means it doesn't carry pity over from any of your other pity systems, right? So if you're pulling for Phainon, maybe you didn't get them right, and you, oh, let's pull on Saber some. It does not carry that pity over. That also means whenever you're pulling on her and you don't get her, your pity does not carry over to whatever the next 5-star is. So absolutely ass, absolutely AIDS, absolutely hate it. Now on to insane energy cost. I think she does have the highest energy cost in the game. So salute to you Aglia havers out there. You finally have someone that's competing with Aglia. Then finally, guys, she needs timing to get max damage off of her core stacks, meaning she can be kind of rough to play. She can be kind of technically intensive, whereas I feel like Phainon here is very ooga booga brain. Like, you just like ooga booga booga booga, button smash. You kind of have to time more stuff up with her to get maximum damage output, and she will definitely require you to have a little bit more thought into your play to make her output the most amount of damage possible. So now what I want to talk about is best in slot partners. But before we hop into that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, gamers, because if you've made it to this point in the video, maybe you enjoy something you're seeing, or maybe I just rage baited you into this video. I don't know, one of the two. But at the end of the video, we will be doing a pull priority list, so subscribe to the channel if you want to see that, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to see any of my other videos coming out for Honkai Star and ZZZ. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead now and hop into their best in slot partners, starting off with Miss Cipher first. Phainon, Castress, Acheron, I guess Phainon can go in there as well, but like I said, she works on all these teams. She's a jack of all trades, meaning she can work on every single one of these teams. She's just not the best in slot for every single one of these teams, so keep that in mind. Hopping into best in slots here, guys, Ruan, Sunday, Miss Hua, really anyone that can give him a buff and give him buffs consistently is going to work very well with him, because that might play into how he gets his large sources of damage. And finally, Miss Saber here, guys, that's going to be Sunday, Hua, or any low cost plus ult support. The more ults you can launch, the better off she is. The more ults she gets off, the more damage she gets off, everything like that. So you really do want to be focusing on launching ults off with allies to make her viable. That's why these characters are here. Now let's hop into the final section of this video, guys, which is Futureproof ability, starting off with Cipher first. Her core mechanic of recording and unleashing team damage offers a unique form of scaling that should keep her relevant as the game's overall damage ceiling rises. Her debuffs also provide general utility. Yeah, her debuffs are really good for just about any team. Also, like I mentioned before, very future-proofable because she does rise with the damage ceiling, meaning the higher damaging DPS you have, the better she gets. Hopping into Phainon next, guys. He is the one-man army. Literally, guys, he is a hyper carry of hyper carries. He is the hyper carry. So if you enjoy hyper carry, he's going to be great. He is the Miyabi of Honkai Star Rail, in my opinion, and he is going to be an amazing DPS for a long while to come, in my opinion. Now, he doesn't, like I said, synergize very well outside of him, right? Everything relies on him. You put everything into him. He doesn't give anything. He's very selfish, okay, guys? That is the one thing, so that is the one downside with the future-proof ability to him, is that whenever he does get power crept, it's kind of cooked for him, but as of right now, he's really, really good. Now, finally, guys, Miss Saber. Saber's going to be really good, guys. Her combination of massive self-buffs, a unique resource system that fuels both damage and energy, excellent action economy, and even some team utility makes her incredibly strong and well-rounded character. Yes, guys, she is more of a team player. She kind of sits in between these two characters. While she's a sub-DPS that relies on team damage, he's a main DPS that relies on team buffs. She sits in the middle there. She's more of a supporting and main DPS, and genuinely, I feel like she's a really good pickup for your account, considering if you want someone that is more complex to play and you need more timing and more big brain juices to actually use to the maximum ability. So for me, guys, I feel like pull priority is very determined on what the state of your account is, and it can go any way for your account, right? I'm going to be basing this pull priority list if you're a casual player, okay? The most casual player coming to the game, right? Like, your account's already decently well built up, and you're a casual player. For that, I would put Cipher number 1. I think Cipher offers a lot of future-proof value for your account because of the vulnerability she provides, and scaling off of the higher and higher damage output you have in the future. She'll last your account a lot more, so really good for free-play players there, and also good for very casual players as well, because she can just be a consistent or a constant on a lot of teams. Number 2 here on this list, guys, I'd probably say Saber. Saber will offer something for the team as well. Her energy cost, while yes, it is high, she has a lot of utility to get there, unlike Aglia. We don't like her. She's not as good as Prywin says. Fight me in the comments on that one. Anyways, guys, I'll be putting her number 2. And number 3, I'll be putting Kevin Castellani here. Now, he is my favorite. He's the one I'll be pulling for. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm skipping Cipher. I'll probably try to get Saber, but he is my number 1 husbando bazando. He doesn't offer anything to the team. He does offer a lot of damage, I think, and I think that's really good. But in terms of longevity, how long until they power creep him? I don't know. The world may never know. And that is my pull priority list there, guys. Now, obviously, take that for a grain of salt. I mean, like, these characters are very, very close in terms of, like, how good they can be or viable they can be for your account. Like I said, I'm pulling for Kevin Castellani here, and I'm a very casual player. And I'm not even following my own chain of command, so you shouldn't either. Just take the pros and cons for what you will and apply those to your accounts, and I think that's who you should pull and or not pull for. So with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Later. Bye-bye.